Imagine that every single morning when you wake up, you are giving yourself a completely fresh and wonderful chance for a new beginning. Marcus Aurelius said exactly that we always have a choice, that we can take control of our own emotions and thoughts. Life is full of challenges and misfortunes. From the bus arriving late to a pointless argument with a friend or problems at work. Aurelius said that in moments like these, instead of complaining or giving up, we should remind ourselves that we are only responsible for our own reactions, not the events of the world. Imagine you're standing in line at the bank. The person in front of you is moving very slowly. The choice is yours. You can either get angry and frustrated, or you can tell yourself, this moment is a part of life, and I will get through it calmly. In his book Meditations, Marcus Aurelius said many times that the mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it is what will grow. If you plant the seeds of patience and positive thinking, you will become stronger and calmer day by day. So, the first step towards happiness is to ask yourself every day, how can I react better today? This way, little by little, you'll gain control of your life, and your sense of satisfaction will grow. Let's remember that no one is perfect. What's important is that every day we become a little better than the day before. Marcus Aurelius is one of the most prominent and unforgettable figures in the history of ancient Rome, a man whose name is known not just as a powerful emperor, but also as one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. He was born in the year 121 AD in Rome, and after years of special education and training, he ascended to the imperial throne in the year 161 AD. For nearly 2 decades, he ruled over the most expansive territory of that era. But what distinguishes Aurelius from other rulers isn't just his victories or his politics. It's his profound perspective on life and philosophy. During a time when Rome was grappling with crises, successive wars, diseases, and betrayals, Marcus, instead of sinking into despair or indifference, turned to writing down his thoughts and reflections. The result is his famous book, Meditations, an important work for growth and tranquility that later became a source of inspiration for millions of people. He believed that happiness and a good life weren't just about power or possessions. Instead, they are rooted in the mind and our reactions to life's events. By practicing contemplation and controlling his emotions, he tried to make each day better than the last. And this simple yet profound philosophy continues to guide people today who are searching for a meaningful life and true tranquility. Marcus Aurelius had a famous saying, "In life, only one thing is completely in your control, and that is your mind." Often, we try to control everything, from the behavior of others to the weather. But the reality is, many things are completely out of our hands. When it rains, our plans get disrupted. When someone says something untrue behind our back, we want to change the world. But in reality, we only have control over ourselves. Imagine you were planning to go hiking, but suddenly the weather turns stormy. You have 2 choices. You can either get upset and ruin your whole day, or you can change your plans and, say, talk with your friends at home or watch a movie. The point is, once you accept that many things are out of your hands, you stop stressing over them. Instead, you focus on the things that truly concern you, like your reactions, your decisions, or your perspective on the world. Aurelius practiced this repeatedly in his own daily life. When, as emperor, he faced enemy attacks or political problems, he would remind himself, "I cannot prevent events, but I can choose how to confront them." This means letting go of worry about things you have no control over and putting your energy into building yourself and the small world around you. So, if you're seeking happiness and a better life, You must practice making a conscious effort to set aside some of your worries and concerns each day, and accept that not everything will go your way. The only thing you control is your own reaction and mindset. One of Marcus Aurelius's most important lessons for happiness is just that, learning to live in the moment. We have a habit of constantly dwelling on the past, grieving over mistakes or bad memories, or we fear the future, stressing ourselves out about what might happen. Aurelius said that all you truly have is this very moment. You can't change the past, and the future hasn't been built yet. So, the only path to happiness is to make the most of the here and now. You're sitting in a cafe with your friends. Your mind is on an email you have to answer tomorrow, or something that happened last week. As a result, you can't enjoy the company or the good time you're having. We need to practice mentally to pull our attention away from distracting thoughts and focus only on the present moment. When you're drinking coffee, just think about its taste and warmth. When you're out for a walk, listen to the sound of your footsteps and your own breathing. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that when he wakes up in the morning, he tells himself, "Today, I will likely encounter ill-tempered people and strange events, but these are a part of life." With this mindset, he was no longer caught off guard by anything. Whatever happened, he would just see it for the moment it was. Then he'd let it go. This way of thinking helps you maintain more peace even in difficult situations and experience less stress or regret. Because all there is the now. The past is gone and the future hasn't arrived yet. To practice, set aside a few minutes each day to focus only on what is happening in that very moment. For example, when you're eating, turn off the television. Put your phone aside and just experience the taste and smell of the food. This is a practice. Over time, it will calm your mind and improve the quality of your life. Marcus Aurelius strongly emphasized that we shouldn't be quick to judge. Usually when we encounter people or events, we unconsciously and quickly label them. We say, "This person is rude. That wasn't the right thing to do. Why am I so unlucky?" But Marcus said that if you want to be happy, you must learn to first understand, and then, only if necessary, judge. Very often, the reality is something else entirely. Here's an example. Imagine your boss speaks to you very coldly today. You might unconsciously think they're upset with you, or that you didn't do your job correctly. But perhaps the reason is something else entirely. For instance, maybe they're dealing with a personal problem. Aurelius said you can never truly know the real intentions or circumstances of others, so the best thing to do until you're absolutely certain is to withhold judgment and give yourself and others a chance. This way of thinking not only helps you get less upset, but it also makes your relationships with others healthier and more profound. In his book, Aurelius emphasized that in every encounter with others, you should try to understand the reason for their behavior and be compassionate. If someone mistreats you, instead of immediately getting defensive, ask yourself, maybe they're having a problem. Perhaps I didn't understand correctly. In traffic, someone cuts you off for no reason. Usually, our first reaction is to get upset or mutter something under our breath. But if you think for a moment, maybe they're dealing with a specific problem, then you won't get so worked up. Your mind will become calm. This way of looking at the world makes your heart more open. You'll experience less stress, anger, and sadness because you understand that many events and the behaviors of others are not directly related to you, and often there's no intention behind them at all. This way, you'll experience more peace of mind and inner joy. Let's be realistic. No one in this world has a life free of trouble and problems. Aurelius himself was the emperor of Rome, and from the outside, his life looked very good. He repeatedly faced war, betrayal, illness, the loss of loved ones, and political problems. But what set him apart was that instead of running away or complaining, he saw hardships as a normal and even necessary part of life. In his writings, he said many times, "Just as a tree becomes stronger and more deeply rooted in the face of the wind, a person also strengthens their character and mind by facing hardships." At your workplace, someone talks behind your back or judges you unfairly. Instead of immediately getting upset and potentially ruining your whole day, you can try to think about it this way. Can I possibly react differently in this situation? Can I choose to be more patient? This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius wants to teach us. He firmly believed that no bad event or unfortunate circumstance can truly take away our happiness and inner peace unless we ourselves allow it to happen. He has a famous quote. He says, "Hardships come not to harm us, but to build us." Whenever you face a problem or an upset, instead of complaining about everything or seeing yourself as a victim, take a step back. Consider that maybe this is also part of your path, and you'll become stronger because of it. Then, you'll gradually see that even in the toughest situations, you can find hope and peace. Accepting hardships not only increases your endurance and patience, but also prevents you from limiting happiness to good, carefree moments. Happiness is about seeing the storm but finding your peace, even in the middle of it, and knowing that sometimes this too shall pass. This perspective will transform you into someone who is less afraid of life and more confident in themselves and the path they are taking. Many people think that happiness means personal success, more money, or personal achievements. Aurelius believed that a large part of happiness lies in connecting with others and helping others. He said that humans are social creatures. No one can experience true satisfaction alone. Suppose you are not feeling well one day. Are you upset? You have no energy. If you were in this situation, you would go and do a small thing for someone. For example, if you call a friend who is upset, it may seem like nothing special happened, but it will make you feel good right away. Aurelius was dedicated to serving others and being kind to others. It calms and makes our mind and soul happy. Marcus Aurelius said that we were created to help each other. If we are separated, we are like two fingers on one hand that cannot do anything separately. But when it came to this big task, one of the exercises he suggested was to do at least one good deed for someone every day, even if that person never knew you helped them. A real-life example is that once one of Marcus Aurelius's servants made a mistake and everyone expected the emperor to be angry, but instead of scolding him, Aurelius behaved and even tried to show the servant the right path. This behavior not only preserved the person's reputation, but also earned him the respect of others. With this work, Marcus showed that true power lies in kindness and mutual understanding. Even very small acts of kindness have a great education. For example, if someone's belongings are lying on the street, you go and help them. They will get better, and so will you. Or when someone mistreats you, instead of retaliating or getting angry, you try to treat them with respect and patience. This way, the other person feels ashamed and gradually changes. Aurelius believed that no matter how much position and power you have, without kindness and consideration for others, you will remain empty inside. Many people achieve their goals, but deep down they do not feel happiness because this feeling is only created when you can spread goodness and see those around you happier. A simple exercise is to review with yourself every night before going to bed what you did for whom today. No matter how small, it doesn't matter, but review it and see how much better you feel. In his discourses, Marcus Aurelius repeatedly reiterated the point that we should not depend on anything except our own morality and reason. For example, he said that you are free if you are indifferent to what does not concern you and free your mind from useless attachments. Suppose you lost your job or a relationship that was important to you ended. Our first reaction is usually stress, sadness, and disappointment. But Aurelius said that when you know that nothing external can increase or decrease your true worth, then you will experience true freedom. For example, your friend suddenly becomes cold towards you, or someone at work doesn't treat you well for no reason. If you have mental freedom, you won't get caught up in judgment or lingering resentment because you know that your worth doesn't depend on the behavior of others. Many are willing to sacrifice their peace and morality to achieve their goals. Aurelius believed that a truly happy person is one who maintains his principles and inner peace even in the midst of difficulties and failures, because anything else is a kind of mental illusion. The way to practice this helpful perspective is to intentionally take a brief moment every single day, especially whenever you encounter something in your life that you have absolutely no control over or that causes you to feel fear, worry, or anxiety. In those moments, gently ask yourself, is it really going to disturb my peace of mind? Then see if you can free your mind from that worry. With each practice, you will gradually realize that many of the things that used to occupy your mind no longer matter to you, and you will live a more peaceful life. A concrete example of this concept is that, for instance, suppose you spend a significant amount of your valuable time surfing or browsing through Instagram, scrolling endlessly, and every single time you see someone's ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, perhaps someone you once knew, leaving you behind with a brand new car, a shiny vehicle, you might feel left behind, or you might even feel jealous or envious. Freedom of the mind in this context means that you have the ability, the power to choose not to let these feelings, these emotions enter your heart, and to know, to truly understand that your life is only comparable to your own self, not to anyone else. Oliver always emphasized, and he would often repeat, that the greatest victory of the heart, the most important triumph, is over yourself, over your own inner struggles. You don't see it, but it is there. Even freedom from the past, from old memories, and from old fears is achieved in exactly the same way, through the same process. Everything that holds you back, every single thought that keeps you up at night or makes you worry about the future, if you are aware of it, if you notice it and allow it to take hold, you will gradually over time find a kind of lightness, a sense of joy that no amount of work, no level of achievement or success in the world can ever replace or substitute. Real happiness is freedom itself. The freedom to choose how you think, how to react, what to hold in your mind, and what to let go of. This is the very lesson Marcus Aurelius arrived at after years of experience and challenges. To be free means bringing your mind to peace and contentment in any situation. Not by fighting the world, but by gently taming and calming your thoughts, and attaching yourself with intention to what truly matters.